for you and I. You see, last week, a lot of things is trending in our environment. We have cases that requires protest. We have cases that require intervention of human activists. We have cases that brought a lot of sympathy of people. So today on this program, we're going to be hitting this thing one after the other. On first year, we're going to be talking about the death of a teacher in Aliami Mixed Secondary School that happened on the 18th of October. Before we go into these old details, I have a wonderful guest, a learned person.
God bless you.
Okay, like I said, there are a lot of things that is piled up. In case you're just watching, this is your first time, this is Governance and the People on PMTV. Remain your host, Ashe Chekuma. You see, as I was saying on the build-up of what happened last week in Aliami Mixed Secondary School, there is a man whose its guy name or the AKA name is called Water. By full name is called Onwake Onwajiofo. Allegedly, will I use the word because that's the word? Allegedly, killed a teacher. A comrade, for that matter, was killed on the 18th of October in Aliami. And to build up that effect, we have the NUT who came up with a warning. The NUT say, we warn against bullying of teacher. I think that was the heading of that news. Say they are warning people to stop bullying teachers. And also, we also saw last week why pupils or students are being punished. So in your own, so what's the concept of punishment in the teaching and learning environment?
Well, thank you for this topic today. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you, sir.
By the special grace of God, everything is laid down for the growth of human being. Punishment is not a crime. But before punishment, we have to talk about discipline. Because it's discipline that leads to punishment. Every institution, every organization have a laid down rule imposed by the school or by the administration to make sure that students are well coordinated. So like a school, the Ministry of Education have laid down rules for students to be well behaved. For example, talk about social behavior, talk about school timing, and talk about uniform. These are laid down rules to make sure that students are being put in proper shape. And I want to talk about discipline. Now, if you violate any of these rules, that's when punishment will come. And for you to bring a child to be in proper shape, to learn and be better citizens of this nation, you have to be properly cultured. And the means of bringing properly cultured, you have the punishment will come in. For a child that obeys, an obedient child can never be punished.
Pupils or students who obey don't get punishment. Yeah. But I can recall as a student of Imoye High School in Lagos, my too, we've had cases where we get punished for what one person has done. And the teacher will just come to the class and say, everybody, your head on your desk, for the sin of one person, because they say, who did that? Who did that? And we're going to lie down and we're going to do Now, in this word you have said, do you think it's proper for teacher to generalize punishment from action of one for all to benefit from that punishment?
No. It's very bad for you. You're just talking about a concept. That, for example, that something happened in a class,
yes,
and maybe the class will to identify the culprit, the person that did that. You create this class. A teacher will come and say, "Oh, I'm hearing noise from this class.
Yes.
Who is this person?" And maybe all the class, nobody wants to identify the person that did that. And if you refuse to show, or if you refuse to identify that this person is the wrong person, that's you are an accomplice. That's why there's a kind of general punishment. For example, they say, who write the names of noisemakers, or who is this person that threw so that is disturbing this environment, and all of you kept mute as his class. What do you expect? If you refuse to identify the person that did that, then you have to be you are seen as an accomplice, and you have to face the punishment. So for a student, we all went to school. I am still a student. Although I'm a teacher, but still a student. There are behaviors you find out in classroom management. In classroom management, a teacher will come and say, who did that? And sometimes you can see some students that are able to say, sir, this is a person that did this. And you investigate. And if one or two persons are able to alert, this is the person, and when you check try to size up a child and give a kind of cross-examination, the child will all know that I did this. But there are cases when you come, maybe they now refuse to identify who did that. So the whole class will face a punishment. That is what happened. It's not that maybe you are a victim then because you refuse to identify who actually did that.
Okay, so for all those skin, that was lynch on me. For part of cooperation, after the teachers told us that we should learn how to be our brother's keeper. That's that's on the way. Okay, I want us to look at this. I know it's actually not cast on a conventional storyline in the sense that it's just one person's write-up I read about this incident of Mr. Wata and that of the comrade, the teacher. The first thing I want us to look at here is this. I tried to put a call across some family person, but we'll not be able to reach them. So, yeah. But what we're reading on social media and what we're hearing from people at the sideline is that the owner of the palm the palm wine came to the school to report such incident, and that was what built this matter. Now, I want to ask this question. How can, during a school hour, I want to be looking at the government as being responsible for this. How can, during a school hour, pupils who have access to farmland out of school, is it that our schools are not fenced? Is it that there is no security man at the school gate? Because I remember when where I schooled, we have a school gate man, we have a very tall fence, and leaving the school premises is not something a 10 years old boy, a 11 years old boy, a 12 years old boy, or 13 years old boy can actually do because of the environment. So I want to ask, do you think that if the government has provided a well secured school environment, will this thing has happened? What's your take on this?
Actually, when you look at the school system, the government, they are trying their best, even if they are not giving us 100%. Like talking about school fencing, how do you want the school to be fenced? Do you want the school wall to be built like a prison? Now, for a good student, we say charity begins at home, and the first teacher of a student is a parent. For a child that is well cultured from home, will not leave this classroom to go to another class and start making noise, or leave the classroom to leave the school environment, school premises, to go to the bush. I'm talking about palm wine. So these things start from the home first. Now, you don't just actually blame this government, maybe they need to bring, no, actually, well, for security, some schools also have security men. And maybe they may have one or two. And maybe some of the security men, they are elderly. And the security man stays primarily at the gates to check who is coming into the school and who is going out. You don't expect the security man to be going around the fence, the school fence, 24 hours of a day. Nobody have the energy to do that. Except maybe there's a camera, maybe it's a CCTV camera to be put on the fence to know who is going. Because one, for a student, the fence is to protect people, external individuals coming to the school to steal school properties. It's not to prevent, because student is not supposed to pass through the fence. It's a law that as a student, if you pass through the window of the classroom, it's a crime. Let alone going through the fence. That is a heinous crime against the society. So if you're talking about government angle, government have not done wrong. Most of the schools, we need to evaluate how good facility, how good classroom. I know some schools are not properly fenced. Like Ali Hamid Secondary School we're talking about is a new school. It's a new school still undergoing construction. So that kind of environment, they know the student, if a student that are lousy, student that are disobedient, can easily have access to go outside to do what they like. But I'm talking about going to another man's farm to take palm wine. That is stealing. And no school will teach you how to steal. It's a bad behavior coming from the home. You have to check these excesses right from the home. If the child that have the gut to go on to take palm wine must have been stealing one or two things from the home. And the parents cannot deny of not finding that this boy or my son is doing. If you are a father, I'm a father. If your son is a thief or your child is a thief or have one or two bad character, you identify it. You definitely know.
Okay, let's not get carried away. In case you are just joining us, this is PMTV Africa. You're watching live. I'll share this page, and it's also to like this page and also to comment on this page. Now, quickly, you said something about the home. I think you're pushing all this thing to the home. I want to ask a quick one, comrade. Now, when we look at this in totality, like the whole problem, starting from the home, because the home is the first place of socialization, according to those psychologists that told us that. And I want to ask you a very simple question. Or listening to the child and listening to the teacher, what is the first thing you do? I want to ask you more questions, but I want you to answer this directly. Okay. What is the first thing you're going to do as a father?
As a father, my child comes back from school and asks me,
Uncle flogged me.
I was disciplined in the school. What did you do?
Okay, that's the first question you're going to ask.
What did you do?
Okay.
What led to it? Because no man, no matter, I don't know, I have not seen, and I don't think it will be anywhere for a teacher to just pick up a cane and flog a student without doing anything wrong. Now, I've not seen it.
Now, this is where I'm trying to drive.
Okay.
Now, you have to ask the child what the child
did. What went wrong? Yeah.
A case where the child lied to you. I don't want you to speak like a teacher.
Yes.
I want you to speak like a father, which you are. What if the child lied to you?
Okay, there are authorities to meet. If the child lies to me, the first thing to do is not to go and meet the teacher. The school, there are authorities. There are hierarchy. Every school, there are school head, there are principals, there are proprietors. If you're a private school, you need to go find out from the proprietor. Something happened in the school today. What actually happened?
Okay.
Not to go to this classroom, because a child can lie. Any child can say anything. So even if the child said, I did not do anything, I won't believe my own child that I did not do anything. But okay. Next thing I will go to find out from the school authority. This is what actually happened. Please help me find out. Not to be aggressive.
Okay.
Because one, you are taking that child to school to mold that child's destiny and character. If you have all the powers, all the knowledge to mold your child, you keep the child in your home. No need of taking the child to the school. So since you are giving your child to a second parent, that is the teacher to take charge within those hours of the day. So you should expect that teacher will kind of exercise a kind of authority over the child to mold that child. So if you have any complaint, you go to the authority of the school, because when you took that child for admission, it's not the teacher you take the child to.
It's the school.
It's the school authority. So whatever happened, you have to relate with the school authority.
Okay, I think I get that concept very clear. And so for parents that are watching, you just heard what Comrade said. It's simple. He's saying that, I feel like recapping this, because a lot of parents, we're having cases, as a journalist, we're seeing cases where parents go to school to begin to scold teachers and begin to, fight teachers, go physical with teachers. A comrade is telling us that you didn't give the child to the teacher. Yeah. You gave the child to the school. So the school authority should be the first place one is definitely going to confirm what happened in the school. Now, quickly on this, I think there's a take-home on this thing that happened last week in Agbo. Yeah. Let's look at the take-home now. Now, what do you think would be the advice on this very matter for parents? What do you think would be the advice for parents looking at what has happened? I know there was no way Mr. Wata, aka Wata, which is fondly called Wata, which we call Weke Wajofo. I don't think he would just go there that very day in the mindset to kill the teacher. I don't think so. I don't know. It's likely not human for him to just leave the house and feels that today I'm going to kill Mr. Sunday. So now I want to ask you, what is the take home for parents from this very incident?
Well, for that case of what happened at Alihami Secondary School, that the teacher died, I was not there. I don't actually know what happened. There are a lot of news, a lot of rumors here and there. I believe this case, I learned the other day that the Commission of Education came, and I believe police are doing their work to investigate the matter. But the first thing you need to know is that you have to try your best not to be a victim of circumstance.
Yes, sir.
For every human being. This is a lesson. But every human being, every man and woman should take home that you try as much as possible not to be a victim of circumstance. Because what happened that day is avoidable.
Yes.
It's avoidable. Now, like as a parent, you find out that something's wrong and we are going to school to find out, to inquire what actually happened to my child. You must not go prepared and to be aggressive. Preparation, leaving the step, your doorstep, whatever what happened, your child came back home, you have to go. What actually happened? You sent your child to that school. You need to find out from the authorities, like I said before, not to be aggressive or not to be armed, not to be prepared. There were a lot of rumor that something happened. Maybe I don't know if they were fighting. No, somebody hit something. But I'm here to confirm actually what happened. But for a child or a parent, if you are going to school, something happened wrong to your child, the appropriate thing is that be calm first. Your child is not dead. Be calm. No teacher or no school we will be ready to kill any student. I'm a teacher. I know how many students we buy food for sometimes in school. You see a child, like that's why you are careful to know who are you punishing. As a teacher, you need to inquire what your child a child is misbehaving, what actually led to it. You do not find that some students come to school without eating. In my presence, some students have fainted in the school. When you find out are you sick, you say no. What's actually the problem? You can just buy snacks and mineral. You find that the child is back to life, revived. Now check if you're not careful as a teacher and you now flood that kind of student in that condition that actually the child is hungry and have not gotten the good food, and you now fly and something happened, child died. What happened? You will be regretting. So that's why you have to be passionate with activities. But be passionate with circumstances around you. You need to be a solution provider as a parent, as a teacher. As a teacher,
okay. Comrade, I think you're saying a lot about this. Yeah. You see, a lot happened last week in our environment that has to do with the school and the teacher. This happened in a government school. And then there's a case that happened in a private school about a 4-year-old baby that was mutilated. In fact, according to what we saw online in one of this human activist page, Harrison, was a school proprietor allegedly used scissors, that was his headline, to cut the private part of a 4-year-old baby in Agbo. That was the headline. And he says the name of, according to that write-up in his wall, he says that the name of the proprietor is Innocent Ezoku, and he also displayed the picture of the proprietor, and as well as displayed the charges. According to him, he called it a fake charges of the Nigerian police force, which I know very soon we're going to be discussing this with the PRO of the area command or the PRO of Agbo, division here to talk about that kind of, fake charges according to what he posted on his wall. And he said the name of the school is Great Leaders International, and became a concern for journalists like us that are operating within this axis. A 4-year-old child, the proprietors using scissors to cut the private part of this baby. As a teacher, what is the limit of a teacher concerning the pupils?
Well,
what kind of limits?
Let me just observe you on something.
Okay.
We just finished a topic talking about a colleague that died.
Yes.
So please, I want to honor my colleague by observing a few minutes of silence for my divided comrade offer.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. In case you're just joining, this is PMTV Africa. Yeah. May his soul rest in perfect peace here from the studio, including my producer and the old engineer on board. We're saying rest in peace, comrade. And wherever you are, may the good Lord, lead you home and also guide wherever you have kept behind on this, what the Christians or the religious people will call sinful world. Well, to me, I don't have any issue with calling the world. The sinful world is a jolly world to be, and I'm enjoying my time here on earth. And I also know that a lot of people are also doing the same thing. This is PMTV Africa, Governors and the People, where we talk about things that happen around us, as mostly government policies, programs, and projects of government as it affects you and me. And also, like I said earlier on, if you have your thoughts, you can put them on the comment section. This program is going live on PMTV Africa. You can follow us on Facebook and make your comments. You can go to our YouTube channel and join the conversation. A lot of people are talking about what we are talking right now. So you can be part of them by dropping your own comments at the section. So let's go back to Mr. Comrade Zegede. Now, to say, what can you make up of this thing? What is the limit of a teacher in the school?
Well, no teacher is permitted to use sharp objects. Like in the school, we advise students not to use sharp objects. Like razor blade, like you have to advise them to be careful using sharp objects. But for you're talking about something that I see that it's not normal. Like mutiny, using a sharp object to cut the private part of his pupil. It's uncalled for. It's unheard for. I don't know. Is the teacher a surgeon? What are you looking for there?
The proprietor.
Is the proprietor a surgeon?
That's the question we need to.
I'm here to unfold what is behind that using a scissor. Or is that another form of punishment? Or what? Or no.
The 4-year-old baby.
The 4-year-old baby. On what ground? Well, that is outrightly wrong. That is unpalatable, and that is not welcome to our society. If the scenario, if whatever happened within that environment, you need to do a lot of research. The police, the CID, they need to do a lot of investigation to know what actually happened. Is that actually true? Can that be? Is it? No, we're not talking about rape now.
No.
It's not about rape now.
The headline, according to the petition, what the guy Harrison, is it Goshen in his war, he came to Agbo and he said a school proprietor allegedly used scissors to cut a private part of a 4-year-old in Agbo. This is his headline.
On what ground? Is it for rituals or for what? For a spare police can do justice to that? Any accusation against Nigeria is a constituted authority. It's a professional body that knows how to handle this, and we relied on them. We rely on them for protection, and they've been doing a good job. Yeah. I know there are bad eggs in every institution, every system, but I believe in Nigerian police, in this kind of matter, they will get to the root of it. Yeah, fish out what actually happened.
According to him, we learned that the commissioner of police is on top of the matter. The case has been moved away from Agbo to Asaba, and who knows where that would take off from there. We're going to do a lot of investigation on this program to see when we bring more of this thing that happened, including the one of the teacher. We're going to bring people who are going to give us first-hand information on what happened on this matter. Like I said earlier on, in case you're just joining us, this is PMTV Africa, and you're watching Governance and the People. With me here is Comrade Christian Izegede, a teacher, a seasoned teacher, the chairman of concerning the proprietor, Mr. Innocent Ezoku. I want to put my head on something, and I want you to free my head because it's clouded. Now, could it be that this is a circumcision matter? I know we don't have the story in full because I said it's a matter arising.
Circumcision on female, or is it a male child?
It's a female child. It should be a baby girl. It should be, because when they say private part, I don't think use scissors to cut. I don't think it's penis, the private part of a male. I'm just assuming it should be a baby girl. But I know, like a lot of the viewers, I know you guys will be confused as I am. But trust me, in our next episode, I'm going to make sure that we bring more details on what has happened, and then we're going to come with someone who is going to tell us exactly what has happened, because this kind of
with the proprietor of a school, which is not trained.
Could it be a punishment, sir? A form of punishment? Maybe the baby is just...
It cannot be a punishment.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing over this. I'm not laughing about this.
School administration are laying down some punishment to be meted on students. It cannot be that. It cannot be that. It can never be that.
I'm not recommended. Viewers, I'm not laughing about this. It's kind of annoying. It's annoying. The fact the laugh is out of anger. And the reason I'm angry and I'm just trying to control myself because I'm on camera is because I begin to imagine as a father, maybe I go to school to pick my baby, and the next thing I want to hear is I want to be informed. I'm informed that my baby private part has been tempered with the scissors. It's psychologically, I don't think I'm going to react to this. Do you really think that the government is not really doing much that has to do with schools? We just came out, we just saw the one that happened in Aliamimi Secondary School. Now we're hearing this one again in a Great Leaders International School. You know?
First of all, we're talking about school system. Everybody needs orientation and reorientation. It's a continual process. You know, since I came into power as the chairman of the Youth Council, CAS Out, we've been embarking on back to school mentorship program, where we go to different schools to address the students and address the teachers on the modalities of how to get a better tomorrow for our younger generation. And some of these things need to be intensified from different angles. I and my team alone cannot do it alone. Like our fathers, our royal fathers, can come into partnership with other organizations, with other NGOs. We need orientation and reorientation, not just in schools, both in the marketplace. Because this thing we are happening now, school is a learning environment. Yeah. It might be happening in other sectors, like some it might be happening among the artisans. It might be happening in other, maybe in the markets, in the marketplace, in other communities. It may be happening in some other places. But what we need is continuous orientation and reorientation. It's appalling that these things is happening within a school system, an institution who's supposed to build a kind of a light, a role model to the world. A grooming people for the world. But like this is happening now, that kind of school, first of all, you need to check, is that school duly approved? Is that kind of proprietor, is it mentally sealed? You need to cross-examine him, because you can't use a sharp object on anybody. Or for a it's not
Okay,
It's totally wrong.
it's kind of annoying. I won't lie to you. I'm finding it very difficult holding back my anger because it's, as a father, what's your take home for parents on this matter that happened at Great Leaders International School? What's your take on what advice do you think parents can pick from this incident?
First of all, parents, you love your child. You are ready to give your child the best. You have to examine the kind of schools you're putting your child first. Yeah. Yes, for you to seek for admission for your child, the child you love that God gives to you freely, you need to really examine the school. Have a background check of the kind of school you are taking your child to,
teachers that are
the kind of the proprietor, the kind of teachers. Yes. You need to examine them because your children, they have a life, and their life is your future. Yeah, if you want to give your children the best, just as some parents don't even care, because what the kind of things we see in our society, you know that some parents don't care. No, around our environment, you can see a child of 4 years, a child of 6 years, okay, let me 4 years, going to school alone, walking through the busy road alone, going to school.